Cory Booker says Democrats need to do to regain trust with voters.
Fred, Democrats are going through a bit of an identity crisis of sorts. They've seen their public polling really at rock bottom, at all-time lows. They have been unable to really find their footing during this era of Donald Trump's presidency, and there's this debate over tactics. We saw that erupt on the Senate floor last week when Cory Booker blocked efforts by Democrats who were working with Republicans on policing bills. Booker had an objection to how those bills would impact his state.
Standing for Jersey.
In particular, concerns about how he says grant money for public safety funds are not going to states like his own because they are not falling in line behind the Trump agenda. And his larger argument to me was that Democrats need to essentially not bend their knee, as he said, to Donald Trump. Not just Democrats, he said, but institutions, too, that are feeling pressure from Donald Trump's use of executive power. He's urging them to push back.
What I want to see more people doing is not doing what some law firms have done, bend the knee to Donald Trump. Not doing what some universities have done, bend the knee to Donald Trump. We see major corporations who want some merger approval, not standing up on principle, but bending the knee to Donald Trump. That, to me, is outrageous. History are going to remember these people for their complicity in what is a guy that's going to severely try to undermine our government, who already incited a riot on our Capitol. This is a moment in history where people are going to ask, where did you stand? Did you bow to an authoritarian leader, or did you stand strong and fight? I'm sick of the gerrymandering, but if Donald Trump is going to push to gerrymander Texas, he's going to break the rules in order to win. He can't win by the rules they are right now, so he thinks you should break the rules. For Democrats to sit back and just say, okay, we're going to play by the Queen's rules, no. I'm telling you right now, we need to win in the midterm. We need to stop him from cheating, from lying, and from stealing the election. And if they're doing something to add their congressional seats, we need to look at our ways of doing that.
And as part of what he told me to, he wants his state, New Jersey, to very much move forward with the idea of redrawing maps in the United States House because of what's happening in Texas. We're seeing Texas Republicans change how their district lines are drawn there in order to try to add 5 more Republican seats in next year's midterms. That's being pushed by Donald Trump. Typically, that happens at the beginning of a decade to reflect a new census. Trump wants it done now to help his party in the midterms. Now you're hearing Booker there say very clearly he wants his blue state of New Jersey, the Democrats there, to do the same, respond in kind, to try to add Democratic seats in the United States House in the next year's midterms. Shows you the larger fight within the party, larger debate within the party, how to respond to Trump. And in that instance, Booker is saying, let's go toe-to-toe and push back directly against the president's efforts in Texas. Fred?
All right, Manu, Raju, thanks so much. All right, let's discuss that and more. And now with former Ohio Democratic State Senator Nina Turner. She was also a co-chair of Bernie Sanders' 2020 presidential campaign. Nina, always great to see you.
You too, Fred.
So Senator Booker, argues Democrats need to be more concerned about the American people rather than with the party. So when Democrats listen to voters, what are they hearing?
I mean, certainly, Fred, I just came from South Carolina. I was in Mullins. I went to Columbia, just all over the state. And people are really fed up with politics as usual. They want fresh ideas. They want people to show courage and conviction. And while I'm glad to see this fire from Senator Booker, I wish he had had that same kind of fire when we should have had a Democratic primary, and maybe we would not be in the situation that we are in right now. Of course, Democrats have to fight politics with politics when it comes to the gerrymandering. But the people who are going to lose are the voters, because no matter if the Republicans are doing it or the Democrats are doing it, Fred, the voters are going to lose because elected officials get to pick their voters instead of voters picking their elected officials. The Democratic Party could have avoided all of this by not allowing President Donald J. Trump to have his second term. So there needs to be some introspection with all of that anger and emotion and fire about what the Democratic Party could have done differently. They lost the popular vote for the first time in 20 years and also lost the Electoral College. So the same leaders who got us in this mess are not the leaders to get us out.
All right, so you're not liking the way things transpired with Biden even stepping out and then Kamala Harris stepping in. And, since we are talking about that, the former vice president did address this week that she was not going to run for governor of California. Listen to how she explained her decision to Stephen Colbert.
When I was young in my career, I had to defend my decision to become a prosecutor with my family. And one of the points that I made is, why is it then when we think we want to improve a system or change it, that we're always on the outside on bended knee or trying to break down the door? Shouldn't we also be inside the system? And that has been my career. And recently I made the decision that for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I think it's broken.
And what do you think she means by that? The system is broken. And do you agree?
Fred, I certainly agree with the vice president that the system is broken, but it didn't just start to be broken. It was broken when her and President Biden was there. It was broken even before them. So what she is saying is correct, but how the Democrats responded when they had all the levers of power, both chambers of the Congress and also the presidency of the United States of America, they didn't do anything that was particularly bold. And so I understand exactly what she's saying, but she, along with others who were involved in allowing President Donald J. Trump to win this term again, have to have some introspection. It's just not enough to blame what is happening on the GOP, as they are leveraging powers in ways that the Democratic Party never had the heart or the intestinal fortitude to do. So moving forward, what will the Democratic Party do differently to animate the base, to lift up and change material conditions for people in this country, and to leverage power for the good? They did not do that, Fred, and that is why they did not win.